Hey, good morning. It's Sunday. We're on day 7. Excellent. You guys are still here with me, and I'm absolutely thrilled about that. Let me do a little housekeeping before I get into the meat of the message. Not the meat of the message. I gotta stop saying that. I gotta watch my words. Before we get into the message, you guys are beginning to ask questions. You're asking a lot of questions, and that's really, really good because it's directing me where we need to go, what we need to address. So that's really good. I appreciate it. Keep them coming, and I'll keep addressing them here. One of the questions that is being asked is, why are the videos so short? Well, because I'm busy. Got stuff to do, and you're busy. I'm hoping you're busy working on your life, and I don't want to just cram everything down your throat in one time. So just giving you a little bit so you can come back and watch 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. But today's Sunday, and this video is going to be a little bit longer. The other question that I'm getting asked is, yesterday we spoke about loving yourself, and people are saying, well, I really don't know about that, because isn't that kind of arrogant? And people who really love themselves and into themselves, they're very arrogant. But that's not the type of love that we're talking about. The people who you find who are arrogant, they actually are very insecure, actually not very loving of themselves. So they need to do this, look at me, and make a lot of noise. People who genuinely love themselves, they're humble. You won't even know they're in the room. Very humble, very easygoing. And that's the difference. Now, let me explain to you why it's so important that in order for you to come out here and find a whole relationship, you have to heal yourself. You have to make sure you're healed, because if you're not healed, that wound is going to attract nothing but other wounds. And even if you attract someone who's not wounded, you're going to view them as being wounded because you're looking at the world through these wounded lens. I'll give you my story and how I became wounded. We grew up in Jamaica, my sisters and I, and it was 2 sisters and myself. I was the youngest one. And my oldest sister, she was the favorite by far, you could tell. And everyone that came to the house, they realized it, but my mom and my dad were in great denial. Now, my dad at this point in life will admit it, but at the same time, even though he'll admit it, he doesn't really realize the psychological damage that he did to his other 2 kids. Because in his mind, he was just giving my oldest sister a couple bucks more for whatever she needed and stuff like that. But that's not how it played out in our mind. It was obvious that she was favored by my mom and my dad, and if we went out to get ice cream, her favorite flavor was chocolate. We hated chocolate, but that's the only flavor my dad would buy. If we all needed a pair of shoes, she would get her shoes first. We went to public schools, she went to a private school. As a matter of fact, they had the system in Jamaica, or had at the time when I was going to school there, where after you finish middle school, in order to go on to what is called high school in Jamaica, you have to take a test, what is called a common entrance test. And if you pass it, you would get a scholarship to go on to high school. If you failed, you went on to what is called a secondary school, and by a lot of standards, you're treated like a second-class citizen, because Jamaica is all about classism at that time. Possibly could have changed by now. So anyway, my oldest sister went on, and you get 3 chances to take this test: 10 at age 10, 11, and 12. So she took it in all 3 chances. She failed, but instead of sending her to a secondary school, my dad again paid, because Jamaica, you could pay your way for anything. So he paid her way to put her in one of these high schools. She's wearing the high school uniform. She's looking like everyone is, like she passed her common entrance, and she's going to that school. When my other sister, the second one, took the test, she failed, and immediately she was sent off to a secondary school. Now it's my turn. I'm the youngest one. At age 10, I had maybe 4 or 5 sickle cell crises that year and completely failed the exam. Age 11, I only missed about 3 months out of school, and I was a very sharp student. So I missed 3 months, took the exam, and still passed. Got a scholarship to go to Wilmer's Boys School, one of the best high schools in Jamaica at the time. My dad now didn't feel right, because now here it is, I passed and I'm going to high school. My other sister, the oldest one, she's going to high school. So at that time he felt guilty or bad, I guess, and he took my middle sister out of secondary school and paid for her to go to high school. But had I not passed, had I failed, we both would have been in secondary school. Now, passing the common entrance in Jamaica is a big deal. Your name is published in the papers, the community make a big deal out of you. You're very much celebrated. And I remember my graduation, to graduate from the middle school to go to this new high school, my dad wouldn't come to the graduation. He stayed on the couch and slept. And I walked the 2 miles to that graduation just crying, bawling, because this just reinforced the idea that no matter what you do, you'll never be good enough. And my other sister, the younger one, she felt like she wasn't even smart as I am, because they kept telling her, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're this. So her self-esteem was shattered even more than mine. By the time we came here, my dad, before we came up here, my dad paid for my older sister to go to this nursing program, the best nursing school in Jamaica, to learn nursing. When I came here and started studying and finished high school and was ready to go to college, I said, Dad, you know, I'm very passionate about arguing. I like to argue. I'm passionate about my arguments. I will make a great lawyer. I want to go to college. He said, I'm not wasting any more money on any more kids. But wait a minute, you haven't wasted any on me yet. So the point is, all of this information made me feel like I wasn't worthy. All my life growing up, I felt very, very unworthy. Then I would hear my mom say all this stuff. My mom, after she separated with my dad, very upset, very bitter. She would say stuff like, there's no such thing as a good man. All men are dogs. I don't think she said all men are dogs, but she said there's no such thing as a good man. And once I heard her telling someone, you should just use men for what they have. So by the time I came out on the dating scene, my heart was encased in steel walls because ain't no woman using me. And all my Jamaican boys came out of a similar situation. So we're all walking around wounded and not aware that we're wounded. So all my relationships, I started meeting other people and having these relationships, but it wouldn't work because the minute they started telling me, oh Kirk, I love you, I got rid of them because I never felt I was worthy of love. I always felt I was unworthy. So that never worked. No one could get close to me enough to start really showing me love, and I would appreciate that. I would immediately do something to destroy the relationships. Now, I'm reading all these books, I'm studying, and I'm getting better. I'm realizing that there's something wrong with me. But the majority of people walking around wounded are not aware that they're wounded. I mean, even now, I have my Jamaican boys calling me, and they're not aware that they're wounded. They're thinking the problem is with the woman. Yo, my youth, yo. But now I'm in a woman treat me like fool, and I'm woman tech bad man for clown. And that's the attitude that they have, and I can't say anything. I just gotta, like, for real, John or my youth, for real, and take my time and get out the conversation. Yo, rude boy, I'm gonna link you later. I'm gonna have to run, see? And just tip out the conversation. And I'm also meeting women who are very wounded because, let me go back to the guy, my Jamaican boys. What they're not realizing is that they're so wounded because the issue, most men, or the Jamaican boys that I know, had issues with their mom. Just the way their mom treated them, and just issues with the first woman who was supposed to love them. Really treated them in a very harsh manner. So now they're grown up and they're dealing with women in a very harsh manner. They have no sense of humor when it comes to women. Things they would tolerate from their boy, they would not let a woman get over with them, on them like that. So they have a very harsh way, and they're not realizing that this stems from your relationship with your mom. You need to heal that. You need to really take care of that. But they're not at a place where I could tell them that. And I'm meeting women who had all these different toxic relationships and emotions regarding their dad, and they're coming out here wounded. So now they're in their 30s and their 40s and they're meeting men, but it's not working. And what's even ironic about that, you have a woman home, alone, lonely, and there'll be a man in the wing that absolutely adores her, and she'll say, it's not really my type. Baby, of course he's not your type. He loves you. You don't love yourself, so he can't possibly be your type. He's very gentle with you. You're not gentle with yourself. So of course he's not your type. He speaks about you in a very positive manner. All you tell yourself is negative stuff. So of course you're not compatible. And you'll never be compatible until you start loving you. Until you start taking care of you. Until you start healing those wounds. Until you start opening them and exposing them and say, okay, what is it that I need to do to get better? Because if you're going to your parents, your mom or your dad, hoping for them to say, oh yes, I was wrong, please forgive me, chances are that is never going to happen. Because that other generation, that older generation, oh, they go to their grave in denial. They just, oh, that didn't happen and you're lying, you make... So you can't look for healing there. You just got to take your time, work with yourself, and be gentle with yourself. Start healing you. As you heal you, the lenses that you view the world through begin to clear. And as those lenses clear, you attract, or you see the world in a different manner. You start seeing more beautiful people, more loving souls, and all the foolishness just drop. But you have to get to a point where you start forgiving yourself and forgiving your parents and forgiving your past. And this is so important because tomorrow is Monday. We're supposed to be talking about health. But I want to spend some time on this again tomorrow because I want to teach you a technique that I use to forgive everything in my life and move on. It was very freeing. So I'm going to teach you this technique, and it's really based upon when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This coming week, tomorrow, we get into the journals and we're going to go a little bit deeper. All I want to do this past week, the last 7 days, was lay the foundation. Kind of give you an idea of where we're going and what we're doing. And keep asking the questions, I'll address those. And it's just, I'm very happy about this. I'm glad you guys are with me. And I'm doing, let me just say this. The 90-day challenge, I'm doing it myself. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share with you some of my results, and at the end of the 90 days, I'm going to show you my results. Here's what I've been doing, same thing I'm telling you to do, and here are the results. I'm going to show it to you. Black and white, pencil and paper. Do we still use pencil and paper? Anyway, I'll show you my results. I'll show you what I've been working on and what I've been able to accomplish in the past 90 days. Some things I haven't been able to accomplish in 15, 16 years. I know I'm going to make this breakthrough in this 90 days. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Lots of love. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with others. Be loving. Be forgiving. Be calm. And we'll take it from here. See you later.